Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wisdom of Essential Oils. I'm Leonie Featherstone, and my business is called Sense of Empowerment, SCENTS, Sense of Empowerment. So if you want to know more about what I do, you can hop onto my website, senseofempowerment.com.au, or go onto my Facebook page and say hello there. Now, what I'd love you to do today during our chat is hop on, join in the chat, let me know where you're from, say hello, because what we do, if you're new to this show, is I like to talk to you about the beautiful doTERRA essential oils and how they can be used in so many different ways on a physical, emotional, and spiritual level, and all about helping us to become the best we can be in a holistic manner. And so I always pick a topic, and today we're going to be talking about a sense of touch. So as we chat through the morning. Hi, Nikki. Lovely, certainly. And for our new people, I chat about the essential oils and how you can use them and the wisdom that they bring into our lives. But also I have oil cards. So if you'd like me to choose an oil card for you and interpret what that could possibly mean for you right now, I'd love to do that as well. So just say hello. Hello, Ashley from Ohio. How wonderful to have you on board. I hope the weather is good in Ohio at whatever time of day, night it is. And Kathy from Florida, welcome. So we're going to be talking about sense of touch. I'm just going to, as you ask for a card, I'll write your name down as well. But I want you to think about what touches you. Think of a time recently when someone did something or said something and it really touched you in some way, because these are the little things we can do in life to really help us connect with each other and help everyone feel loved and have that sense of belonging and feel like their lives are really worth living. And I think that in this day and age, a lot of people are feeling disconnected. And so any way that we can touch somebody's life, whether it's a thought, whether it's a word, there's lots of different ways. So we're going to be sprinkling that through the session today. So Nikki would like a card. Definitely written you down, Nikki. So pop in the chat anything that resonates with you. What touches your heart? What is it that you see, hear, feel that just makes you feel, because the power of essential oils is that we can help to bring more joy into our world and more wellness, but we can also let go of limiting beliefs that may be stopping us from having these experiences. Hi, Maria. Hello, Kathy. Hi, Michelle. Gosh, we've got people from everywhere today. So what I always like to do to start the day, as you're thinking about what touches you or what touches would you like to see in your life to bring improvement, I want to share a couple of cards. And I always draw a card for the collective, and I found a beautiful little set of oracle cards from Katie K with essential oils. And the card that I drew was neroli. And the message here from Katie K for us is that neroli is about independence, opportunities, and renewed hope. And the message is there is an opportunity for you to develop and grow, and it's coming your way. This will be positive and beneficial to all concerned. And I think that's a wonderful message, because when we can grow in ways that also help other people to grow, that's a perfect symbiotic relationship. And the affirmation that Katie K has with this is, I embrace all new opportunities that allow me to grow in a positive direction. And I want to tell you, neroli is a great card for us today when we're talking about a sense of touch, because sometimes people don't reach out to sort of touch other people's lives because maybe there's been some conflict. And so neroli is very much the oil of harmony and of helping to mend troubled relationships. And I guess it's also inviting us to, take vitamin P, patience, and add in tolerance and kindness, and that will help us with any conflict that might be going on in our life. So that's the card from Katie K. And then I drew one of my favorite from my favorite deck, which is the Aroma Heal deck, and we drew the card Oregano. Now, oregano is a really powerful oil. It's just nature's wonderful support when we are feeling our health compromised. And there's many ways to use it. And I like to use it a very fine toothpick amount into my hummus, my pesto hummus. So I'm only talking doTERRA oils here, guys, because I know the purity and the potency of them. But with oregano on an emotional level, oregano is inviting us to maybe let go of that strong will, maybe to bring a bit of humility into our life, and maybe to, as we're letting go of the strong will, let go of the anger or whatever it is that's kind of upsetting us, and really just to release control over things that really are outside of our control. And so what this does, it encourages growth. And the centering thought for us around oregano is I release my need to control and to always be right. I see the value in others. I see the value in their individuality, and I release the toxic relationships in my life. Excuse me. Why is it so easy for me to be humble? That's the question we need to be asking ourselves. So that's for the collective. And we're talking about sense of touch. I'm Leonie Featherstone, and it's just a pleasure to have you all here with me. Who haven't I said hello to? Hi, Maria. Hi, Michelle. Yes, Michelle, you definitely can have a card read. And Rose, is that Rose or Rose? Rose. I love that. And Jeanette, absolutely welcome, Jeanette. Okay, so what I'd love you to start thinking about is that, it's not just the physical touch in life. We can touch people's lives in so many ways just by sending positive thoughts out into the atmosphere to people. We touch people, positively or negatively with the words that we say. Are we being guardians of our words and being mindful of that? Then, of course, there's physical touch, and we can touch people just with a look. And so, when we become mindful of that, we can be ensuring that our touch is much more positive. And, we can touch people just as easily by lack of touch, if that makes sense. Have we disconnected from people? So we're going to be talking about oils that can support that as well. Okay, so let's get into doing a card for someone straight up. Please keep adding to the chat. What are those things that really touch your life? I know when I sometimes struggle to meditate because I've got a very active mind, but when I just look at a baby, I just melt. My heart melts, and I look, especially a sleeping baby, and I just see that innocence and that beauty and that miracle. And my heart just swells, and I just feel really touched by the amazingness. I know that's not a word. Amazingness of life. So, okay, so this one is for Nikki. Okay, so Nikki, the oil card that I've drawn for you is Thyme, Thyme. Some of you may be familiar with using that in your cooking. Okay, so on a physical level, Thyme is actually very good for supporting our respiratory system. And so if you think about this, Nikki, it's about what do I need to breathe out? What do I need to release? And what do I need to bring in? And so often Thyme is helpful when people are feeling, excuse me, congested. It's quite interesting. This often happens to me when I'm reading a card for someone and it's about something. I actually physically start acting that way. It's weird. But so, Nikki, for you, it's about letting go of any anger or bitterness that is residing there. And I want to just say, guys, that, and this is for everyone, I have found, and I'm sure you all know this, it's a lifelong work of improvement, of bettering ourselves, of striving, of wanting this vessel to be the best it was put on earth to be. And so we work on things and we think we've done it, but sometimes there's little residues left behind. And that's why it's really important to use the oils regularly, both for a physical outcome and an emotional outcome. So, Nikki, very much about releasing and forgiveness. Forgive yourself, forgive others, because that leaves space for growth, for new life, for new breath, new opportunities to come into your sphere. So your centering thought, Nikki, is I release the prisoners of my past and I send them love. I send them light. I am love. And your question to ask yourself, Nikki, is why is it so easy for me to release the past and heal? Because, Nikki, while we hold on to any grudges, any hurts, any pain, we are taking up space for that new healing, that new abundance, that new opportunity And while those remnants are still there, they're sabotaging any efforts that you're making. So it's all good, Nikki. Use your time. You could put this with some fractionated coconut oil and, maybe apply it over your chest. You might want to put it on your big toes, or somewhere around the respiratory reflexology points on your feet. And you may even like to put it in a diffuser with something else. It's quite pungent, so you might want to be careful with that one. But anyway, Nikki, that is for you. Thyme oil. Okay. So hello, Fiona, lovely to have you on. And hello, Juliana. I was just telling Magda that you usually pop on. Lovely to have you here. Okay, I want to just pop in another oil that I want to tell you about before we move on to another reading. That's Magnolia. You may not have used Magnolia much. I know I don't talk about it much, which is probably not a good thing, but Magnolia is inviting us to bring compassion into our life. And when you look at flowers and petals, like they open up. So it's inviting you to open yourself up to and invite compassion in. And this is about treating others with compassion and treating ourselves with compassion. Magnolia is also inviting us to learn the lessons and know that there is a higher power, a higher source that is sort of sharing those lessons with us if we will open up our ears and listen to them. And it's also about, when we offer compassion to ourselves and to others, we are improving our chances of reconnecting. And we are all interconnected. We are all one. And so when we hurt someone else, we are actually hurting ourselves. When we do not forgive someone else, we aren't forgiving ourselves. And so Magnolia is really inviting us to come in and heal on a soul level and embrace change. Invite that compassion in, because it really will brighten your life. So Magnolia is definitely one that you might want to bring in. Another oil that I would love to share, which is just such a powerful oil. It comes only in a 5 ml bottle, and it really packs a punch, but it's Melissa. It is a very considerable investment to have it in your oil cabinet, but I would not be without it. Its physical properties are immense. It is so powerful at supporting me on a physical level. But it is the oil that, to me, it's like, I like to think of it like a lighthouse, a beam of light. And it's really just shining that light on our soul and awakening us to our truth, to our immense potential, our ability to connect with the original light source. And so when we connect to the spark of the divine, we ignite our own, and we can let go of any issues that are stopping us, any limiting beliefs, and anything that's not in harmony with us, that is stopping us from reaching out and touching the lives of other people. So, guys, you might want to look at Melissa. And any of you that want to go on an oily journey that aren't already connected with a beautiful doTERRA wellness advocate, I'd love to invite you in, because there is so much to learn, and it's not learned in 5 minutes. It's not learned in an hour. It's a lifetime. So when I share oils with people, it's not just about oils. It's about connecting you and I. It's about, you don't just get oils, you get me as well as your oily guide. So if you want to come on that journey with me, send me a text or send me a message here. I usually come back and connect with all of you on here and just thank you for being on. So if you'd like to know more, just pop it in the chat. Okay, so we're going to move on to the lovely Michelle. So Michelle Hurst, yes, it is Hurst. You have one of my favorite oils from the emotional aromatherapy range, and it is Motivate. Now, this comes in a little 5 ml where you can pop it in the diffuser or apply it topically, or you can, it comes in like a 10 ml roller that's already been diluted with fractionated coconut oil. So I use these very much as perfume, just carry them around in my bag and roll them on the wrists or your pulse points, on my neck. I lather oils all over me. I just love it. Such a beautiful feeling. Hi, Louise. Lovely to have you here. So back to Michelle. Motivate. What does this mean for you? Well, Michelle, right now, wherever you're sitting, and maybe you're just feeling a little bit heavy, maybe you're feeling a bit stuck, maybe you're feeling lacking in motivation. And what Motivate is inviting you to do is to really just feel into what you want in life, and to use that feeling. When you start dreaming about what you want to do, you'll feel that little surge of energy and that little pep in your step, and you'll really start to move towards it. What I find happens a lot, Michelle, is that we can get stuck, and the longer we allow ourselves to stay stuck, the harder it is to move, and then we kind of head down that slippery slope. But if you can just take one step, Michelle, maybe just one step today towards where you want to go, even thinking about where you want to go, what you want to do, this could give you the impetus to start that one step towards your future. And when you look at some of the oils that are in Motivate, one of the key ones is peppermint. Peppermint is a wonderful oil. It's the oil of the buoyant heart. It'll lift you up out of where you are at the moment, just to kind of, so you can see where you're going and take that step. It's kind of energizing. But whatever it is that's holding you back, Michelle, it is important to go back and deal with it. And if you want any help with that, if you're not already seeing doTERRA Wellness Advocate, I'd love to take you on a deep dive there. It's one of my passions, is to help people work with their emotions, Michelle. So if you need help with that, just let me know. So what this is going to do when we bring this oil in to your life, Michelle, it's going to create a space to just sort of let go of that discouragement, okay? And know that you can take that positive step. And so your centering thought is, I create experiences in my life that motivate me. They motivate me to take inspired action. I am motivated. And your question to ask yourself, Michelle, is, why am I so easily motivated? So I hope that is meaningful to you. And for any of you that are feeling stuck, why don't you just do an Ollie the Octopus brainstorming tool? Draw a circle in the middle of the page, draw some legs off with circles, and just dream. Put in there, what do I want to do? And just dream. You cannot let time, money, anything come into it. Just like dream. If those were if you were rolling in money and you had unlimited time, what would you do with your life? And just fill in those circles. And sometimes that can spark that inspiration that is required and head you in the right direction. Okay, so an oil that I feel called to talk to you about is one of the oils I put in my blend. And usually I wait a bit longer, but I'm going to just share it now, because I always like to come up with a blend for the topic, so sense of touch and an affirmation. So one of the oils that I bought in today is the beautiful Manuka oil from New Zealand. And I always have to apologize in case I'm saying that wrong. So Manuka is a beautiful oil. It's a gift to the earth to bless humanity, and it is a very healing oil on a physical level, but also on an emotional level. And because it's such an ancient oil, it holds this wisdom, and it has a very high vibration, and it wants us to remember that we aren't unseen. We are very much valued and seen by the divine. And so I think when we bring that beautiful healing energy of Manuka into our lives, we can heal ourselves, because it's only when we heal ourselves that we're really whole and able to reach out and touch other people meaningfully. So Manuka was one of the oils that I wanted to put in there. The other one is our beautiful blend called Whisper. And some of you may be familiar with Whisper. It's a blend that has patchouli, it has bergamot, sandalwood, rose, jasmine, cinnamon, vetiver, and ylang ylang in it. And so it really packs a punch, but it's a really soft florally blend, but it has this real strength of character to it. And what Whisper is inviting us to do is to just soften ourselves a little bit, and maybe, just soften those harsh walls we put around ourselves that are maybe stopping us from reaching out to touch, but stopping other people from touching our lives as well. And so that gentleness, that softness is going to really envelop you and help you almost feel hugged and loved, but also help you to reciprocate that to others. And the other oil that I've popped in the blend is wild orange. When I think about wild orange and being such an oil of abundance, I thought I really needed to bring that in today, because quite often the reason why we are feeling that we don't deserve to be touched or loved or we can't give to others is because we kind of feel we don't have enough, or there isn't enough to go around. And so bring in the wild orange, the oil of joy and abundance, to invite us to let go of scarcity and just to know that there is enough for all. When we let go of trying to control where the enough is coming from, it flows. So ease and grace, ease and grace. And the affirmation, because today I really want to put out there that the world needs more compassionate touch. We need to connect with each other. I'm in a very fortunate position at the moment where I'm partnering with some lovely ladies in a wellness centre. And we've started Tuesday mornings where we get people to come in to learn about essential oils, but it's very much about connection. And what I have noticed is that the people, I believe, are getting more value out of connecting with each other and finding sameness and building those little tendrils of connection at first, but then strengthening them and going away feeling like they belong to something. And so my affirmation for today with that blend is, I connect deeply and lovingly with myself so that I can meaningfully connect and touch others. And so my message to all of us is, let's work on ourselves. Let's work on our inner hearts, our souls, our minds, so that we then can be able to spread our love and our light to others. So Michelle, oh great, that resonated. Fantastic. Yeah, lovely. Okay, I'll send you a message after. Look in your others, if anyone else wants me to message them, do look in your other folder in case it goes to there and you don't get it directly in. Okay, so I want to move on to Rose. I want to say Rosé, but it's probably Rose, and see what our beautiful oil cards, what messages we have for Rose. So Rose, the oil blend, as it turns out, that I have for you is Elevation. And it's quite interesting, Rose, because Elevation, one of the oils in here is Melissa, that I've already spoken about, that beautiful oil of light and, encouraging us to connect to our light. So this is, Rose, this is very much about letting go of any darkness that's around you, letting go of any low energies. And Rose, sometimes this is hard because it could mean that you have to almost remove yourself from some people. And so it's also about, I think being discerning, Rose, about setting your boundaries and who you allow in and who you don't. But it's also about knowing that when you let go of those lower sort of vibrations, etc., again, you have the opportunity to welcome in the types of people you want, the types of energies that are going to really lift you. And with that will come joy, with that will come positivity, and that light, that inner light will be brighter. And then you get an opportunity to shine that not only for yourself, Rose, but for others. So this is going to create a space to elevate yourself to a whole new plane. And it's really about transformation. So transforming from that kind of yuckiness or whatever it is that might be in your periphery at the moment, and moving to that place that you really want to be. So your centering thought is, I live a life of abundance. My life is inspiring, and I open my heart to experience joy. And your question to ask yourself, Rose, is, why is it so easy for me to experience joy? So there you go. Now, for those who are new, the reason we ask that positive question is because if we ask the question in a negative way, our computer will come up with lots of reasons why. So if I said, why am I a klutz? They'll go, oh yeah, because you ran into the cupboard, you forgot that, whatever. Whereas if I ask it, why am I so intelligent? It will then go looking for all the reasons why I am intelligent. So we want to be reinforcing our worth. We want to be reinforcing our own special place on this planet and why we need to be here and why it is easy for us to have all that we need to have. There is abundance, my friends. It's there. It's ours. So one of the limiting beliefs I feel that stop us from believing that we can have whatever it is that we want to have is we compare ourselves. We fall into that trap of comparison, and comparison is the thief of joy. no doubt. So I want to encourage you to look at introducing pink pepper into your life, because pink pepper is very much about letting go of that self-judgment. Stop being your own harshest critic, my friends. I've had to tell myself that too. And what it is, it's about encouraging acceptance. It's not saying, okay, you can be a slacker, it doesn't matter. It's just accepting us for who we are and then shining a light on our own talents. And so bring in some pink pepper. It's also wonderful for the digestive system. It's very warming. So one of my favorite ways to use it is I add it to my dips. And it's also quite warming when it's added into like a joint rub. So you might want to get some fractionated coconut oil, some frankincense, some pink pepper, and then give yourself a massage where you're a bit creaky. So that's some other ways you could use pink pepper. Okay, so hello, Kristen. How are you? So if you would like me to draw a card for you guys, just pop your name in the chat and I will do it as we go along. Today we're talking about a sense of touch. How do we like to be touched in words, thoughts, actions? How do we do it for other people? And what are those special moments that really just help us to feel, and I'm a really great believer in self-awareness. The more aware we can be about what we like, and what we want, how we like to feel, and how we like to behave, the more we can bring that into our life. And then we can be more aware of how our actions are affecting other people as well. And then we can make some adjustments and we can bring about those changes that need to be changed. And you know what, my friends, if you want to change, if you want things around you to change, you have to change things. But you have to identify what those things are first. Okay, so this is for Jeanette, I think. Yeah, Jeanette, this is for you. Your oil is Roman chamomile. And this is such a beautiful, gentle oil, Jeanette, as you will probably well know. But it's really quite purposeful. So, Jeanette, whatever it is that is around you at the moment, maybe feeling a little discouraged, maybe things aren't going your way, maybe there's some conflict, just know, bring in some Roman chamomile and think about, what does Roman chamomile teach me? I love to look at plants, trees, and look at how they grow and think, what is this saying to me? And I read about it and I research, and because I'm not a gardener, but I remember reading, Jeanette, that Roman chamomile makes a great ground cover. And when left to its own devices, it will find a way. It has a purpose. It knows what it's doing. And we can actually stand on Roman chamomile, but it's quite resilient. And Jen, I think this is what it's saying to you at the moment. Maybe somebody has stood on you, or something's happened, or things haven't quite gone the way you want. You can change that, Jeanette. You can take on the purposeful cloak of Roman chamomile in a gentle but purposeful way. There's no need for aggression. Just be assertive, and you can forge that path that you want to forge. And so your centering thought, Jeanette, is, I know my purpose. I am fulfilled. I have focus and vision of what I am here to do. And Jeanette, you have what it takes to do that. And your question to ask yourself is, why is my life so fulfilling? So I hope that resonates with you. So yes, my friends, if you would like, I just want to read Rose's comment. This rang so true to me with what is going on in my life work, and I've started to remove certain people from around me. Yeah, guys, it's hard sometimes. And there's that struggle where you think that we have to accept everyone. And to a point, it's a bit hard to divorce your family at times, but, the situations where we have to just analyze and work out where we have to be more accepting, where we have to be more compassionate, but also know that we have the right to have boundaries, and that when we set those, sometimes it's because we just haven't told people those boundaries. So we have to take responsibility for that as well. If we have allowed people to behave a certain way, well, then we need to have that crucial conversation. And that's a great time to bring in your oils to really fortify you in doing that. And can I just give you a little bit of practical advice? Because I love to bring the practical in. If you are having conflict around you and you need to have a crucial conversation, I was taught many years ago the 3 R's, and that was to research, So really think about what it is that's been going on and get your facts straight, and then think about what it is that you want to say and how that might impact, and tweak that a bit. And then the second R is rehearse. So practice how you're going to deliver that to the people that you need to have those conversations with, and do it in the mirror. Listen to yourself, maybe even record it, and then play it back and think, oh, that sounds a bit harsh. You might want to put some softeners in there. And then when you've done that, you can go into that with a third R, and that is relax. You can relax through your delivery and know that you've come with good intention. Of course, you'll be oiled up to help you be calm. Use some lavender to see the worth in your words, some spearmint to give you the courage to say them. And that might help you with any of those conversations where you do need to kind of let people know that those actions aren't acceptable to you and your space. So just a little bit of an extra. Esther, you'd love one as well. Okay, so I'm going to just talk about another oil, and then I'm going to go to Fiona. We're talking about sense of touch, and how do we touch other people's lives, and how do we touch our own? And a lot of it starts with thoughts. But how often do you think about what you think about? And I'm going to say that again. How often do you think about what you think about? Because often we just have a thought, and then it turns into a word, then it turns into an action, a habit, etc., and it's cemented in our life. But if we could think about our thoughts and then kind of change them before they come into words and actions, we could create a whole different world for ourselves. But we have to be willing to change. And that's where I'd love you to bring in some Blue Tansy. Blue Tansy, again, a very small bottle with a really big punch. Blue Tansy, I love actually adding Blue Tansy and Yarrow Palm to my hydrating cream. It's wonderfully nutritious and supportive of the skin. But Blue Tansy is really good for helping us let go of stinking thinking or stagnant thinking, and to transform those thoughts, transform those circumstances, and really bring about change. So on another level, it's really good if you are stuck and you are procrastinating. You kind of know what you want, but you just can't get out there and do it. Blue Tansy can come in and really just kind of give you a gentle nudge to help you take action, because it's so important to live in alignment with our inner voice, our inner whisperings. So bring some Blue Tansy in there, guys, and see what happens, because Blue Tansy is about helping us to manifest that inner passion. It's there. We just have to let it out and listen to it, allow it to speak, and manifest that passion into action, which will then bring us the joy, the abundance that we want in life. Okay, so Fiona, what card are we going to draw for Fiona today? Okay. So we have for you Intune. Now, Intune is very much what we call our focus blend. And on a physical level, this is really powerful for people who struggle to sort of sit still, and this could be some of our younger members of the family who really struggle in school, or it could be just someone who has a really high-powered job and wants to really focus. So there's oils in here that will help to focus, and there's oils in here that will help to calm. So what this is helping you with at the moment, Fiona, you might be feeling totally disconnected, a bit kind of like, whoa, what's going on around me? What's happening? This has started, but it's not finished. You might be struggling to complete something. So Intune is just, going to be surrounding you when you inhale it, with a sense of purpose, a sense of being present in the moment, and connecting you all back together again so that you can move on and think clearly and put into practice the actions that you need to put into practice. And so this is allowing you to really center and feel grounded and able to move forward. So your centering thought, Fiona, is: I create a life of focus and direction. I live in the present moment. And what a great place that is to live. And your question to ask yourself, Fiona, is: why is it so easy for me to stay focused and connected? So I hope that's helpful to you. The Intune Blend Comes in a roller, a 10 ml roller, and so it's a great one to use on your wrists. It has some really powerful oils in there, one being patchouli, so it'll stay around for a long time. And some people like to use it as perfume. You might just put it up here behind your ears. Other people use it on their children by rolling it down their spine, perhaps before they go to school and massaging it in. Some people will even, if the children are allowed to wear like a clay necklace, pop some on that when they go to school, because the actual when the body heat heats up the clay and the oil, it comes up obviously, and they're inhaling it, so they're having that ongoing effect, so they become like a personal diffuser. Good, you've got that one, Fiona. Excellent. Okay, so anyone that's just new popped on, if you'd like me to draw a card for you, I'm streaming into three pages today, so if you see me talking to someone and you can't see their name, don't worry, I'm not haven't lost the plot. So let's come back to what else can help us touch other people's lives and make a big impact on our own. I think intention. So it's our intention is the beginning place. What is our intention? And when we intend to make an impact in someone's life, and then we can actually bring in love and the essential oils, you can have a really powerful outcome. And so we're talking about how we can let go of some of those limiting beliefs, like what's stopping us from either allowing someone to touch our life or to touch others. And one of them, I think, is this people are scared to be vulnerable. And so, it's like we might have to open up. And if we allow them to touch our life and then we get hurt again, it's gonna hurt even more. But you know what? If you keep your walls up, you will never, ever be hurt. But if you don't let them down, you'll never, ever know truly magnificent love either. And so one oil I just wanted to bring in here was one we call Clary Calm. It's actually a beautiful blend for the monthlies. And it has so many oils in there that help with cramping and help with flow. But if you think about that on an emotional level, it's really helping us to open up and allow those negative thoughts, those fear to flow away. And then what happens next is we move on and we have a whole new growth cycle and a whole new life cycle. So it is about releasing. We've talked about comparison is another thing, and we've talked about pink pepper can support that. I think another one is sometimes not feeling worthy. Well, why would they want me in their life, or why would they want my input? What would I know? That feeling of unworthiness and feeling disconnected from our own potential. And that's where I'd love you to think about exploring black spruce. Black spruce is a beautiful, beautiful oil. And of course, me and my trees, I love trees. So think about that black spruce helping us to reconnect with that inner amazing person that's there. And you might want to bring that in again in like a massage. And this is another area that we can help with touch. How are you self-touching? Are you aromatically dressing in the morning, as Vanessa Jean teaches us, where you get some fractionated coconut oil and your oils of choice, and after your shower you actually you're moisturizing your skin, but it's more than that. When you're doing it with intention and love and gratitude, you're massaging your skin and you're thanking your arms for being able to, bring that cup of tea to your mouth. You're thanking your fingers for being able to hold the pen to write those amazing words you can write. So when we are touching ourselves with love, we are filling ourselves with more love to be able to give out to others. And so black spruce is one that you could bring in there, and it's very restorative, it's very grounding, and it's, if you think about a tree with the roots in the ground and a straight trunk, it's helping us to feel supported. Okay, so there's some other oils that I wanted to bring in. I also want to bring in a couple more, but who have we got here? Esther would like a card. So have you come up with any ways? What touches your heart? What touches your heart? Are you a hugger? Do you like to be hugged, and why? Let me know. Okay. So I'm going to write it down first so I don't forget. Esther, I've drawn you the card Fennel. I'm going through a fennel phase at the moment myself. But what fennel is about, it's about taking responsibility for ourselves, Esther. And so here it's about bringing in that awareness. What is really going on in your life, Esther? How are you feeling? Are you really tapping into those feelings, or are you just numbing them? Are you just avoiding them? Are you taking responsibility for how you're feeling? Fennel really wants you to let go of like labeling things, Esther, blame, shame. No. Let's just bring in awareness of how you're feeling and connect with your inner self. Take responsibility for looking after you and for dealing with your feelings and nurturing yourself. And when you can look within, Esther, and then start nurturing your beautiful self, you'll really strongly connect with yourself. And that's what I was talking about with that affirmation, connect deeply to yourself, because then you're able to connect with others. And because you're connected to yourself and you're feeling more whole, other people will be drawn to you and be able to connect more meaningfully with you. And so your centering thought, Esther, is I tune into my body. I connect with my body. I listen to it and I honor it. And the question to ask yourself is, why is it so easy for me to love and care for my body? So I hope that resonates with you. Now, I've got to tell you what I've been doing with fennel lately. I've been experimenting a lot with cooking with essential oils. And for some of you, that might be a strange concept. But with doTERRA essential oils, because of the purity and all of the testing process that we go in, a lot of our oils are safe for use in cooking. It's a personal choice, but I love to experiment. And so I've been experimenting, and I made a beautiful recipe yesterday, so I thought I might share it with you. I whizzed up some cooked beetroot. I added in some chickpeas, tahini, garlic, some lemon juice, lemons from our own tree. And then I whizzed all that up, and then I added in some lemon essential oil, some fennel essential oil, and some marinated feta, and whizzed it all up. And I have to tell you, it was super, super yummy, and great for using your carrot sticks and your peas and beans, raw snacks. But also, what I find when I make these types of dips is they're fabulous when you're having, at night time. They're just like an accompaniment to go with your meat and your vegetables, or whatever it is you're eating, or if you're just having vegetables, it's wonderful. So be brave, and if you're using doTERRA oils already, experiment with the ones that are generally regarded as safe for food, and see what you come up with. But fennel is a beautiful oil to experiment in that way. Another dip I made was I used the base of chickpeas and tahini and garlic and the lemon juice, and then I put in sun-dried tomatoes, char-grilled eggplant, and then I used some, and I did the marinated feta again, and some lemon essential oil and some black pepper essential oil. So there's so many things you can do with essential oils, and that's why if you want to come on a deep dive with me, I'd love to share, because we teach very much about how to use them, whether it's for cooking or cleaning or emotional uses, and definitely to support our physical vessel as well, because we are one and we need to treat all of them. It's not just working on the emotions, we need to work with the physical body as well. And speaking of that, we have a beautiful range of skincare that has essential oils in it. But as I mentioned earlier, I love to add oils into my hydrating cream, and one of them is Blue Tansy, that oil that is really about getting up and going and really getting inspired and doing the things you want to do. And the other one is Yarrow Palm. Now, Yarrow Palm is a combination of yarrow essential oil and pomegranate seed oil. And so it's wonderful for skin, and it's like creating this shield, like protection for our skin. It's nourishing, and it's really helping to reduce the appearance of aging. I'm really 90. No, just joking. But it's helping with the skin health, but it's also on an emotional level, like creating a shield, an energetic shield around us as well. And so, as we've kind of discussed, sometimes the reasons we're not really in touch with ourselves is because we're being influenced by the people we feel we should hang around with or the things we should do. And so Yarrow Palm's inviting us to bring it into the life and see it as this shield that's going to keep us safe and dispel any of that darkness and allow us to stand in our light, stand bright in our light. So that's another one that you might want to bring into your world. So what else shall we talk about? I have a belief when we talk about touch that we each have so many special gifts and we can each change the world, but we don't have to change the whole world. It just starts with one. And I'd love to invite you to take on board my mantra, each one, reach one. So what can you do today to touch one life? And I'd like to suggest you start today with you. How can you touch your life to help you to feel better, to help you to be better? And then from tomorrow, you could start one life, one day, each one, reach one. Will that be with a kind action? Will it be with a smile? Will it be with a look? I often walk down the street and I tend to have a smile on my face most of the time, and you just see people then start to smile. So we can actually be the ripple in the pond and create change. Another way we can change people's lives with touch is with hand massage, and our oils just fit so beautifully into that. I love teaching the aroma touch hand massages, but really, it's never underestimate the healing power of touch, your touch. So if you have a friend in need, grab them, sit them down, take their hand, grab the first oil in your bag. It probably won't even really matter, but start massaging that into their hand. Send loving thoughts their way, but use your touch to help that person feel reconnected with you, with someone. There's a lot of lonely people out there. So one of the oils that I love to use in that instance is Balance. It's a really grounding blend. It has frankincense and spruce and hoe wood and blue tansy, and some of the oils I've already spoken about. So it's really just helping for people to feel that they have somebody, they have a connection. So yes, the physical properties of the oils will be helping them physically, the emotional properties will be helping them, but you will be the major constituent in that blend. So bring that in. I think another way we can touch people's lives is with simple little gifts. And if you're a DIY person, wow, why don't you get involved in making some bath salts? They would have to be the easiest possible thing you can make. Add some essential oils into them and then gift that to someone and invite them to take a bath. And if you're going to start with yourself today, here's my suggestion. Get yourself some Epsom salts, some magnesium flakes, and then pick your favorite oils. If you're feeling really super stressed, maybe you just want to use Balance, maybe you want to put Balance and lavender piece together. That's another beautiful calming blend. Put the oils into a little bit of fractionated coconut oil and mix them into the bath salts, and then put that into the water and make sure it's truly dissolved, and then immerse yourself and make the time for you. This is your time to give yourself some of those loving touches, and don't let any feelings of guilt creep in at all. And that can be a beautiful way where you can start nourishing yourself and adding those special touches to your life. But those little sorts of things make amazing gifts. You'd be surprised the number of people that would take something that you have infused with your love and your touch over something that you've gone and bought off the shelf for a really high price. The other thing that I want to suggest to you while we have time is to think about bringing in a simple little practice for yourself, which is a foot bath. Not everyone has a bath and they might not have the time, but you may like to watch a favorite show on TV. Get a foot bath. It can be just any old basin. Fill it with warm water, hot water if you can. Put in your Epsom salts, magnesium flakes. The same thing I was saying with your essential oils, but here's one of the key ingredients. Get a bag of marbles and pop them in the bottom. And then you sit there and you roll your feet over them. You roll your feet over them, because not only are you getting that beautiful aromatic envelopment of the oils and that soothing experience of the foot spa, you're actually using the marbles to touch all of those places on your feet that don't always get touched. And I have a lovely friend, Michelle, who was a reflexologist who I taught a class with yesterday. And she said something that made me think that, you know, our ancestors used to run around a lot barefooted. And as they walked on the rocks and the rough ground, that would press into those reflexology points on their feet and stimulate and start activating. But we don't do that because we walk in really comfy shoes. So the more opportunity we can get to walk on the grass, walk on a bit of dirt, a few rocks, or a much more aromatic, enjoyable way is to put your feet in the spa bath or the foot bath with the marbles and roll your feet across that. You're going to get that beautiful activation as well. So that's another way where you can bring touch into your life. And of course, if you do have a reflexologist somewhere near to you, tap into their brilliance and experience that form of touch, because that actually is going to help your physical body as well. The other things is to bring into your life, if we're looking about how we can touch other lives, the best place to start is be the best version of ourselves and be a role model. And so are you finding time for these special little things in your life? I know for me, one of the pleasures I love is a massage. And so that's something that I do regularly. And I'll often take my essential oil in with me. I mean, they're always in my bag, but 99% of the time I remember to hand them the oil I want them to use, and they use that on me as well. So when you are using the oils in massage, you're actually helping to speed up the uptake of that oil into your cells, into your body. And of course, the aroma is very relaxing and beautiful as well. So these are ways that we can help to bring touch into our life, and then we can hopefully role model to other people that they need to do that too, because we are so worth it. That's something we have to remember. Another element I wanted to raise was, does your life have meaning? Because if we don't really feel like we're worthy, or we don't really know where we're going, it's really not important to start bringing in these areas of touch into our life. And so I love the quote from Viktor Frankl, who spent many years in a concentration camp, that the meaning of life is to give life itself meaning. So I really encourage you to work on exploring your inner self, to raise your awareness. So are you in touch with who you are? Remember my affirmation that I'd love you to use with Manuka, Whisper, and Wild Orange. I connect deeply and lovingly with myself so that I can meaningfully connect with others. And so that's something to think about. Gratitude. I think we need to bring gratitude in here. I think I feel really grateful that I have had the amazing mentors, my beautiful parents, my friends that I can learn off. But I think we can bring in the oils to help us with that as well. So Spikenard is not an oil that I talk about a lot. And this is what happens, guys. You get stuck in a rut. You use your favorite oils and you forget to move outside the square. But Spikenard is very much about truly appreciating life and being grateful for it. So sometimes we can fall into that trap of, blaming and just surrendering to, it is like it is and it has to stay there, stay this way. Whereas really, if we surrender to those thoughts and bring in the thoughts that, no, I've been put on this earth to blossom and grow, and I've been given all these amazing tools and people around me to tap into, and I can have all that I want to do have. And be grateful. Start with gratitude, because the more grateful we are, the more we are given for which to be grateful. And so bring in some spikenard to help us remember to be grateful. And so a practice to go with that is every morning when you wake up, the first thing to think about is, well, what am I grateful for? And then if you want to take that a step further, when you're sitting with your cup of tea or a little bit later, and first action in the day could just be to write down 10 things I'm grateful for. And it's really powerful. Your book grows, and you're starting to think, because you've gone through all the things that immediately spring to mind. Then you have to start really getting inventive and thinking about, what I'm grateful for my toes, that I can, sink them into my footrest right now because I'm sitting here talking to you with my shoes off, feeling into my footboard that has lots of little knobbles on it. So it actually is stimulating my feet. You think up all weird and wonderful things. So it's good, because then you start to have this awareness that there is so much for which to be grateful. I want to just finish off with a couple more oils to talk to you about with regard to a sense of touch. Are we in touch with ourselves, and are we truly touching other people's lives, and what can we do to break down any barriers or limiting beliefs that are stopping us from doing that, because the world needs us all to reach out and touch each other with love. And one of those oils that springs to mind is geranium, another really powerful oil, very powerful on if you look at its constituents, it's actually quite antibacterial. So if you think about that, getting rid of the nasties, getting rid of any toxic thoughts, and letting go of anything that is stopping us from trusting. So it's very much about inviting us to step into trust. Step into trust, step into the belief that love does exist. It helps us to let go of the nasties, as I said, on a physical level, but also just, to soften any anger, any doubts, any fears. Let it flow out. Let it create space for that true healing. Let it create space. Let it open up. Remember the flowers? Open up. So open up your heart to accept true love and trust, and know that you deserve it, that you are worthy. And then the other oil that speaks to me here is rose. Rose, the oil of, divine love. And to know that, we have a choice. We can come from fear, or we can come from love. And I know where I want to come from. I want to come from love. And so when we can invite love in, again, we need to open up. We need to be vulnerable. We need to admit the parts of us that maybe aren't so serving of our own good, and let them go. Let them go. And when we can feel that divine love and let it fill us, because we are worthy, we then can remember, wild orange, that there is abundance, and we can allow that to flow out of us and into other people. And that's when we truly will heal. We'll help to heal the world, because we'll be reconnecting and we'll be putting everyone back together, one person at a time. So thank you so much for being with me this week. It's been fun. Love having you on. I want to invite you to be here next week, same time, same place. And also, would you like to take on my mantra, please? I'd love you to. Each one, reach one. Think about how you could do that. And together, we can truly change the world. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Have an awesome day. And I'll be here next week. Bye.